Hi, I'm Lindsay Heyman.
And I'm Alex Gay. Welcome to the Monday Night Roar.
Thanks for tuning in. We have your latest news, entertainment, and sports.
All that and more coming up on the Monday Night Roar.
Clay Aiken has announced he is running for Congress in North Carolina. The American Idol runner-up is putting his singing career on hold to pursue a career in Washington. Aiken is preparing his campaign for North Carolina's 2nd Congressional District's Democratic primary and says he will focus on jobs and the economy as his major platforms. Aiken emphasizes how dealing with domestic violence during his youth has inspired him to be a voice for the powerless. Keith Crisco and Toni Morris will also run in the primary to produce a challenger to current Representative Renee Elmers. We'll have to wait and see how Aiken stacks up in the competition until May.
Not long after we welcomed President Clements into our Clemson family, nearby Furman University has also welcomed a new president-elect. Elizabeth Davis, Baylor alum and employee of more than 20 years, is now the 12th president of Furman University and the first woman to lead the school. After visiting the school because of her daughter's interest, the whole family was hooked and she accepted the job.
Crime fighting can soon take quite a futuristic turn. The NYPD has bought a few pairs of the Google Glass and could potentially begin using them in the field. Google's new eyewear could be used to bring up information on suspects and other records in the system and could be very beneficial to the efficiency of officers. The NYPD has not yet commented on the results of these tests. Now let's check in with James for the weather.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at what the weather's going to be doing over the next couple of days. It looks like there is a 100% chance of snow for tomorrow and a 70% chance of snow for Wednesday. So we might have canceled classes tomorrow and Wednesday. You can check on that at clemson.edu/CUSafety and see if there's an update. But moving on through the week, it looks like it's going to warm up considerably, with Saturday and Sunday being in the lower 50s and upper 50s. Taking a look outside your window right now, it is 40 degrees and cloudy. There may be some rain. Winds out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour and a humidity of 98% because it probably is raining and it's really wet outside. Taking a look at your radar, this low pressure system is bringing up moisture into the South Carolina region, and this high pressure system is bringing down cold air from the northeast. Once those two cross, we're going to get a little bit of snow in the morning. That's System 1. System 2 is on its way from the Midwest, bringing us more snow on Wednesday, so it's two different systems. That's all I have. Just remember, this weather is snow laughing matter, and please don't drive fast or you might find yourself adrift. And now back to you guys.
Thanks, James. According to a recent report from the U.S. Surgeon General, cigarette smoking is getting worse for us, and unless smoking rates decline, it will be responsible for the premature death of 1 in every 13 children. Due to changes in chemicals in the cigarettes, smokers are at much higher risk of developing lung cancer and other medical conditions than they were 50 years ago. Smoking remains the leading preventable cause of premature death in the United States and is responsible for more than 10 times as many American deaths as all the wars in our history combined.
A documentary chronicling the story of Clemson's first African-American student, entitled The Education of Harvey Gantt, will be broadcast nationally during the month of February, Black History Month. The story documents Gantt's journey through Clemson as an architecture student from his enrolling in 1963 to his graduation in 1965. The production is narrated by Felicia Rashad and began airing around the country on February 4th.
The 2014 Olympic Winter Games kicked off in Sochi on Friday with a spectacular opening ceremony that celebrated Russia's rich history. Athletes and spectators alike were dazzled by lights, dancing, and acrobatics that flowed amongst the projections on the arena's floors and towering sets that glided through the air. The United States got off to a good start, with snowboarder Sage Kotzenberg bringing home the first gold of the Games in the men's slopestyle. The current medal count is led by Canada, the Netherlands, and Norway, all with 7, Russia with 6, and the United States with 5. Good luck to all the athletes there, and go USA!
The Sochi Olympic Games will be the largest Winter Olympic Games in terms of medal events in history, with the addition of 12 new events. Ski slopestyle, snowboard parallel slalom, women's ski jumping, biathlon mixed relay, team figure skating, and luge team relay will all debut during the course of the Sochi Games. The events were added by the International Olympic Committee to provide a newer, fresher, youthful flair to the Games. And speaking of sports, here's Gabby with your sports update.
National Signing Day for college football was last Wednesday, and you could say it was a good day for Clemson. Clemson had its 4th straight top 15 recruiting class. There were 22 signees for this year's class. Most of the signees had already committed and were pretty confident about becoming part of the Clemson family. Clemson baseball opens up this Friday. That's right, ladies, Valentine's Day. Clemson will face Eastern Michigan at Tiger Field at 4 o'clock. Right now, Clemson is ranked number 16 in USA Coaches preseason polls. Top-ranked teams in the ACC include Virginia at number 2, Florida State at number 5, and NC State at number 8. Clemson faced number 1 Syracuse on the road. Clemson fell 44-57 to the Orange after they had a 9-0 run going into halftime. KJ McDaniels had 19 points and 10 rebounds. Jerron Blossomgame had 7 points and 4 rebounds. Despite their loss, Clemson out-rebounded Syracuse 31-29. The Tigers will face Notre Dame this Tuesday at 7 on the road. The Winter Olympics had a spectacular opening last Thursday, and America's had a great start. 20-year-old Sage Kotzenberg won the first gold medal for the U.S. in snowboarding slopestyle final. Jamie Anderson also won a gold medal for the U.S. in women's snowboard slopestyle. The U.S. holds 1 bronze medal in figure skating and 1 bronze medal in freestyle skating. That's all I have for sports. Now back to you.
Thanks, Gabby. Join Clemson in being solid green as we compete against more than 450 other North American colleges and universities in this year's Recyclemania. The tournament, which runs through February and March, promotes waste reduction and challenges campus communities to recycle as much waste as possible. The competition is based on who recycles the largest portion of their waste, so helps Clemson reach the top by making sure you recycle all your paper, cans, bottles, and other recyclable waste.
Scotland legalized same-sex marriage this past Tuesday, making it the 3rd country in the United Kingdom to make same-sex marriage legal. While the Marriage and Civil Partnership Bill did receive some backlash, particularly from the Scottish Catholic Church and the Church of Scotland, the bill did receive support from multiple political parties, and the bill passed with a large majority in Parliament. The first marriages are set to be held this coming autumn.
Whether you shed a tear or cried out in celebration as Flappy Bird flapped his last this weekend, the reports are true that the developer of the recent Pop Craze game has removed the game from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Despite bringing developer Dong Nguyen $50,000 a day, he has pulled the game's plug because it has ruined his simple life and he believes people have overused it. All those who have already downloaded the game can continue to play it, but it likely won't be long before Flappy Bird is all flapped out.
Animal rights groups are furious after the Copenhagen Zoo in Denmark killed a young giraffe Sunday to feed to its lions and other big cats. The zoo claims that the giraffe was killed because its genetic makeup could have created problems with inbreeding. This response did not satisfy animal rights activists who are speaking out against the Copenhagen Zoo and zoos in general for their methods of dealing with animal surpluses. The Copenhagen Zoo continues to explain its reasoning to activists and maintain that it has done nothing wrong.
Clemson researchers have discovered that high blood pressure can sometimes cause a phenomenon known as emotional dampening that can cause people to fail to recognize emotions of others. People who experience this problem can seem insensitive, but there is actually a part of their brain that can prevent them from picking up on emotional cues. This can often result in miscommunications or misunderstandings and could pose problems in the workplace. Having discovered this link, researchers are beginning to search for ways to help those afflicted by emotional dampening.
A coffee shop has opened under the name Dumb Starbucks in Los Feliz, California. The shop offers a menu almost identical to the real Starbucks, only with the word dumb preceding every menu item. However, the big difference that distances this dumb shop to the real deal is that everything on the menu is free. The shop legally calls itself parody art to avoid issues with the Starbucks franchise, but I doubt Dumb Starbucks will be lawsuit-free for much longer. Now John Oliver will update you on some other entertainment and pop culture news.
Jay Leno officially ended his run of The Tonight Show after 22 years this past Thursday. His final show included plenty of one-liners and tears, coupled with a magnitude of celebrity guests. The celebrity guest list included Jack Black, Kim Kardashian, Chris Paul, Sheryl Crow, Jim Parsons, Carol Burnett, Billy Crystal, and Oprah Winfrey. The guests participated in a rendition of So Long Farewell from The Sound of Music. However, the last 10 minutes of the show were not too cheerful as Leno choked up several times saying his last goodbyes and transitioning the show to Jimmy Fallon, who will begin hosting The Tonight Show on February 17th. In other television news, Wendy Williams had several of her items inducted into the Smithsonian this past Friday. The talk show host was the first talk show host ever to be inducted into the Smithsonian Entertainment category. Several of the items included a signature wig, a pair of shoes, a purple dress, and a script from her 500 television episode. Do y'all remember that funny kid from the show Even Steven? Shia LaBeouf yesterday wore a paper bag over his head at a movie premiere saying, "I'm not famous anymore." LaBeouf was at the Berlin International Film Festival promoting his film. When asked questions about the film, he responded saying, "When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much." In January, the actor announced his retirement from the public life on Twitter, only to get into a fight a week later. In more movie news, the Lego Movie was a big box office hit this past weekend. The film earned over $69 million. Trailing behind was George Clooney's film, The Monumentous Men, with $22.7 million in sales. That's all for entertainment. Back to you guys.
Thanks, John Oliver. We've all heard of guard dogs, but rarely a guard fish. According to reports, a man was scared out of robbing a bait and tackle shop in Minnesota because of a big-mouth billy bass in the store. Authorities say the motion-activated fish probably began singing when the would-be burglar broke through the door. He left the shop without taking anything. Well done, Billy.
Clemson's Board of Trustees made major progress on Clemson's 2020 roadmap plan, approving $116 million toward the development of new campus facilities, including a reconstruction of Johnstone Residence Hall and a new student-athlete academic enrichment center. The plan also included the construction of residence facilities for upperclassmen and bridge students, as well as a facility for students, parents, and other visitors of the school.
A recent photo taken by the Switzer and Hubble space telescopes may contain an image of a newly discovered galaxy that lies on the edge of the visible universe. A program at NASA has learned that gravity magnifies light under certain conditions. By looking through clusters of galaxies, the telescopes use that gravity as a sort of magnifying glass to allow them to see further. The galaxy is one of the furthest away ever discovered and is very young. According to NASA scientists, it is only, quote, a preview of what's to come.
National Signing Day went on February 5th, and Clemson is glad to welcome its recruiting class of new Tigers. Clemson's class of 20 new recruits ranked 17th nationally. Coach Dabo Sweeney was very pleased with the 2014 recruiting class and is excited about the new players' futures within the Clemson family.
According to a report, the newly released The Lego Movie pulled an interesting advertising stunt on United Kingdom television this weekend. An entire block of advertisements was brought out and converted to Legos. That is, the company bought out the block and aired the ads that were supposed to be there, only they had all been turned into Legos. One particular ad was for the British Heart Foundation, which seems quite bizarre, but most likely very funny. Those who have heard about this are hoping for an American version, and frankly, I agree with them.
That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Clemson.
Be sure to like our Clemson TV Facebook page and follow us on Twitter.
Be safe in the snow and stay classy, Clemson.